Sizzle, do you hear this? Can you hear that sizzle? We've had 45,000 orders on our today's special value. Customer Choice Food award-winning brand. In fact, it's just the favorite of all the brands in food here at QVC. It started small and it grew to take over the entire nation. When you think of steak, actually when you think of anything and you say it's the best of something, what do you say? Oh, it's the filet mignon of fill in the blank, right? Because there is no better steak than a filet mignon, but they are not all equal, my friends. And the best, the juiciest, the most perfectly marbled, the one where it is expertly butchered and carved to avoid all of the excess gristle and fat that you would be paying for but not eating. This is the best of even Rastelli's. It's called the Reserve. And your filet mignon, which should be, well, let me put it another way. At QVC, it will be $24 each. Our today's special value for a filet mignon, juicy, big, 5-ounce reserve steak with the herb Epicurean butter is $15 each. That price expires in less than 40 minutes. You have an easy pay opportunity of $30. You have a ship date opportunity. You have free shipping and handling. Your best friend is to order this on auto delivery so you keep it coming every 60 days. Here we go. Dates. Immediate, like I want to get that in my tummy now, immediate, or November 14th, or December 12th. If you want November 14th, we started with 12,000. I have 1,800 remaining. And that price expires at midnight. You see your auto delivery information there. Individually sealed, and they come in their beautiful reserve box. So if you are utilizing Bill to Ship To, somebody already knows that they're getting something very, very special. But I hope a lot of you are picking them up for yourselves to make any night a random Tuesday the equivalent of going to a 5-star Michelin-rated restaurant to get the best steak that is imaginable, and it's brought to us by the Rastelli family, a family-owned business, the patriarch of which is Ray Rastelli, joining us right now. Ray, I don't even know if we've worked together in the studio before.
If we ever have. I know we've seen each other a lot here, but I'm not sure if we're...
Well, it is a pleasure and an honor.
It is a pleasure.
Congratulations to you and your team. It has been a massively successful today's special value, but no one is surprised.
It has been fun all day, Jennifer, and I will tell you that we're thrilled to have been able to bring this again. We've brought the very, very best for the holidays. Black Angus Reserve Filet Mignon. This is that filet mignon that if you went to a steakhouse, you'd see a price that says market price. They don't want to tell you what the price is. You never want to ask. But there's a reason that it is so good. If you look at the steak itself, you'll see there is no fat, there is no gristle, there is nothing but beautiful filet mignon. And of course, there's that garlic herbed butter that comes with it. I'm going to show you my favorite way to be able to cook this, which is really, really simple. So don't let it intimidate you, but this really is the best of the best. There is filet mignon, and then there is the Angus Reserve, which means only 4% of all cattle in the entire United States really qualify for this. And then once we get these filet mignons in, we're aging these for 45 days before we trim every ounce of fat off it, and before we actually age it and get it ready to be cut. Finally cut it individually, vacuum package it, blast freeze it, and it's ready to go home, just like it goes to the great steakhouse.
It's the top percent of what is already the top percent, right? Rastelli's brings you so many amazing beef and pork options here at QVC, but even their high standards are categorized to best and then beyond best, and that's what the filet mignons are here, which is why we have such a limited supply in advance of the holidays. What am I looking at now?
And Jennifer, this is really where it all starts. It starts on small family farms that I have worked with for over 45 years. And of course, you've got to inspect what we expect. So I am on them farms. I'm talking to farmers that I've been working with forever. These are small farmers, farmers who really care about the way they raise their cattle, the feed in which they're fed, the water that's clean, and they have pride in it. And I trust them, and that's critical. Trusting your source, knowing where your meat comes from is important. And of course, that's why people that come to the butcher shop for the last 47 years, they trust me because I in turn trust my cattle farmers. And of course, when you get this kind of Black Angus product and you cut it the way we've cut it and prepped it, I'm going to show you what you really get. So Jennifer, this is what a whole tenderloin looks like before it was cut, but it's completely trimmed. I want you to notice there's no fat at all in this. We are aging this for 45 days, and you're not getting the head portion, you're not getting the tail portion, just the center cut portions. And I want you to see what the center cut portion looks like.
Look at that.
That marbling is what I look for in a steak, right? That's meat candy for me. And you'll notice that there is no fat on the sides, on the top, on the bottom, on the other side, just pure filet mignon. And when you're able to put this on a plate, you're making everyone smile.
That is, okay, you know I'm always going to bring it back to jewelry. You take a rough diamond, and yes, you have a diamond. It's probably worth millions of dollars. You give it to a bad cutter, and it is like you completely canceled out the value of that diamond,
yes,
right?
perfect.
So you have great filet mignon in the right hands that are carving it and cutting it to perfection so that you aren't buying that rough diamond with all of the inclusions. You're buying a flawless diamond in the filet mignon. Now, I have to bring you back over here again because I saw the counter pop up on my screen and my head was spinning. We started with 60,000 of these. We have 45,000 orders. More significant is that it doesn't matter if I have 45,000 left or 500 left at the end of the day. The price expires at midnight. Yeah, 45,000 is how many orders we've taken in already. 15,000 left. And when we say filet mignon, guys, that's why we put the ounce right there on your screen. And none of that is just like bulk fat or gristle. And then when you're finished cooking it, you have like smaller than a meatball. This is what you're eating. A healthy, substantial portion. We're also giving you, and I love you, Ray, for adding this in. I think a lot of people are cooking it without it because the steak is already so delicious.
Yes.
And they're using this on their bagels and their toast and their baked potatoes, and that's fantastic. You get the seasoning packet. We're giving you recipes. We're giving you the cooking guide. We're going to talk about what to do when we get these home as well. In fact, if you're shipping this to somebody, you don't need to tell them anything that we're sharing with you right now. They have all the information they need. You can choose either, or some of you, I'm sure, are doing multiples, like you want it immediately, you want it November 14th, you want it December 12th. That's awesome. You can turn any night into the equivalent of a holiday, or you can save these for those holiday gatherings. Shipping them approximately every 60 days, or you can do a single shipment. The price you see is the price you pay, no additional shipping and handling. Auto delivery is your best friend because we don't know what the price, I mean, maybe Ray has an idea of like where prices are going in the beef world, like everything. I'll make it easy for you. Everything's going up, right?
So true.
So auto delivery means you lock in that price, you lock in the easy pay, free shipping on food all the time. So it means you're not going to pay shipping and handling going forward, and you can cancel or delay at any time.
And Jen, you can see these cattle, they're grazing in pure natural pastures, all natural. That's critical because not only do we insist on it in our butcher shop, but the chefs around the country that buy our product and serve it to their guests insist on it as well. This is the same exact filet that we're looking at here. This is a great steakhouse in New York City, and what they basically do is take that steak, they grill it, and then they do finish it with our garlic herb butter. And that's a finishing butter for them. I'm going to show you a little different technique, but you can see that even at the level of a restaurant, that's a $50 steak. This is a $15 steak.
But I heard you say this earlier, and I thought I'm gonna repeat that later because you're in the business, so you know. When you sit down, you go to a restaurant, and you see the.
It's so hard for me to do that.
But I know how much that's supposed to cost,
yes.
right? And you've had that happen too. And look, you in many cases you're paying for the experience, right? You go so that somebody else is doing all the cooking and somebody else is preparing. But the thing is, everything's been thought through for you already. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to go. You're not paying those menu prices. You're not paying for all the additional alcohol and the tip and everything else that you're having to spend. And you would easily spend $150 per person in a steak restaurant and probably get a smaller and not as well marbled steak when you order in the restaurant. Now, I do want to talk to you, obviously, Ray's the expert here. What happens when we get these home? How do I prepare them? A quick and easy way to do so.
So here's the way they're going to come to you is individually vacuum packed, and that's really important. If you think about this, every steak, besides it being aged and completely trimmed, we then vacuum package it and blast freeze it. So this package is going to hold up in your freezer frozen for 12 months. Now, here's the beauty of it. I always like to cook my steaks from really room temperature. So I'll pull my steak out if I think about it the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and then when it's thawed out half an hour before I'm going to cook it, I set it on the counter. I let it actually begin to get the room temperature. Then I'm going to cook it, because now I get natural flavorings throughout, and I just get a great sear. But this is going to last 12 months in your freezer. So, you know, if you get the immediate, you're going to have it.
Oh, that's so cute that you think anybody's going to have this 12 months in their freezer, right? I mean, because the second you smell what I'm smelling right here, the second you bite into it, and you know what it's like having to, like, you know, really go to town to try to cut through a steak, or you know what it's like when you cook the steak and the steak is dry, right? Or it's so full of fat and gristle that you kind of wonder how much of this is actually edible and how much is excess. I always say, if you have the best of anything, you don't need any additional seasoning or butter or sauces. And the case here is you don't need it. It's there if you want it. And I love that Ray and team have given you exactly that. But how wonderful let me put it to you this way. If you order, and I'm sure you have, right? We've been, you know, this pandemic that's been going on the past couple of years, and we've all been ordering from delivery. You could order the most basic of fast food meals and add in the delivery charges and the tip. You're easily looking at $30. I remember Gabby would order, my daughter, she would order like, oh, I'm gonna get Taco Bell, you know, and like when it was all in, I'm like, it's a $69 burrito, and I just spent $18 to get this order to you, right? You are getting the equivalent of the very best steak restaurant experience in the comfort of your own home in the portions that you decide. If it's you alone, awesome. You and a spouse, awesome. You've got the whole family coming over. Hey, let's have filet mignons tonight, right? That's how easy this experience can be. But you know, if you shopped at QVC before, that a $240 price tag for 10 filet mignons, not unheard of. And our price right now is $15 each. Surf and turf, salads. I love it. Stir fry with pot stickers. You're keeping it clean and simple. Veggies. Amy said the other night she and her husband had a really great steak and salad, and it spent like no minutes at all to put that together. M76060. It sounds like most of you are getting immediate and December, right? You're thinking ahead through the holidays, you're thinking to December, but if you want that November ship date, there's only 1,800 remaining. Oh. Y'all, we could do a whole separate presentation on this herbed butter, because just the scent of it alone, and this plus your baked potato, this plus your, heck, I'm going to put it on morning toast, is so good.
And I'm going to show you how the simplest way, my favorite way, and of course, this little tip, Ray's tip's going to come in the package. So you're going to see, you're going to get this with it. But here's what I like to do. I like to take the garlic herb butter, get it in a skillet that's really hot. Yeah. Now I'm just going to take my fillets and I'm going to put them right on this skillet.
Look how thick that
right?
is.
And yeah, these are nice big fillets. They're 5 ounces, but they're going to sear in there. And when they begin to sear on that other side, and it will take about a minute on each side, but you can see the herb butter, and now you can start to hear it. Right, it's just starting to sear.
Lean in so she can.
Yes. And the smell. You know, you said
it. That's the other reason I was leaning in. Yeah, sorry.
But look at how quickly this sears. Look at how beautiful this steak is on each side. Look at how that garlic herb butter. Remember, the filet is so soft and so tender that garlic butter is going to melt right into that filet. So it's going to take about 1 minute on each side of these steaks to sear. Now, the reason I sear them, because I want to lock in all of them beautiful juices. So while I'm searing, I've got my oven at 350 degrees, and this is how simple it is. I take it off my skillet, I go into my oven, and of course the magic of TV, we come out of the oven, and if you look at these fillets, I always like to put a little bit more butter on, Jen, because why not?
Because you got it, man.
Because you got it. But look at these fillets, and I'm going to cut this open. And the reason I do this and show you this is because I want you to see not just how good it is, but how easy it is. So don't be intimidated by a beautiful filet mignon. And look at this.
Please notice Ray is not sawing through this.
No, just right through it.
He's not leaning into the knife.
Right through it.
It
nice
is
and easy.
like literal butter. Cutting through this, and those juices stay locked in. The butter just melts. Look at the, but again, do we see big veins of fat or anything breaking it up? No, because it's perfectly butchered and marbled. Okay, here's the situation. We've had 1,000 orders in this, our final presentation. You see the clock right there on your screen and how few minutes we have remaining. And that price expires at midnight. Remember I said customer choice food award winning?